Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we got something pretty awesome that we're gonna go ahead and unbox and test out for the very first time. We have the FoxAlien HFS-800 HEPA filter vacuum that they offer for your CNC work. Now, this is a 3-stage process for vacuuming. Actually, it could be 4 if you really think about it, because they now come with a cyclone for the dust. It's got a first filter, then it has a second micro fine filter, then it has a carbon filter, and as well as the cyclone. So I'm pretty excited. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hook it up to this right here. Let me show you real quick. All right guys, so this is the FoxAlien XE Pro that I received a couple weeks ago, and it is freaking amazing, especially with the power of these. I did use the standard 400 watt motor. I haven't permanently upgraded that yet. I think this is gonna be perfect. I'm just gonna leave that as is. But what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and mount this behind it. I think I'm gonna do a shelf, and I'm gonna have the dust collector and the cyclone bucket right here. That way it's gonna be mounted behind it up high, and I have easy access anytime I want to change or use this, and I won't have dust all over the place. You can see down here, what I'm gonna use are these. I have some brackets that I'm just gonna mount, and then I'm gonna put a shelf, and then that way that can sit on that. But here's the box that it came in, and unfortunately the box is a little bit tore. Came like that, but I don't think there's any damage whatsoever. You can see right in there, there is the cyclone bucket. Let's just go ahead and crack this thing open, check it out, see what it comes with, and yeah, go from there and get it installed. All right guys, how awesome is this? Check this thing out. This is the little mini dust cyclone, and this bucket is probably about 3 gallons. And that's actually gonna hold a lot of dust. If you really think about it, when you're CNCing, you're creating a lot of dust, but you're not creating, you know, something that you need a 20 gallon or a 50 gallon bucket for. Comes with this hose right here inside the bucket. And yeah, all right, first phase done. Now let's pull out the actual unit itself. Next thing we got is the instructions right here. Pretty simple. These are very basic, simple instructions. You can see right there. I mean, it's really a plug and play type of thing. It comes with another hose. All right, so here is the unit right here. Let me bring you closer because this is a terrible shot. All right guys, now that we got this thing unboxed and sitting here on this little tiny bench overhanging, because I'm literally running out of shelf space in my workshop. But since we got it here, let's go ahead and do a quick walkthrough, and I'm gonna show you a couple things on how awesome and why this thing is probably worth more than just purchasing a standard shop vac, which you can do and save some money, but you're not gonna get some of the benefits that you would get if you were to buy a shop vac. And one of the #1 benefits are the size. Check this out, 9 inches, 16 inches, just the compact size that you can build and have a separate dedicated shelf to this is absolutely amazing. That is #1. You can control the airflow. This is an airflow control knob. You can't do that on a shop vac. It's either all on or none. Really, on the front of the machine, that's pretty much it. It's very simple, very basic, nothing crazy. Let's go ahead and turn this thing around, and I'm gonna show you the actual filters that it comes with. It's 3 stages of filters, plus the cyclone right here, that would be 4. So in the back of the system, you have your plug for your outlet, you have your on-off switch, and then right behind this little trap door is your filtration. Ooh. Here is your 3 phases of filtration. You have your first phase, your second phase, and then your final phase. If you do not have your cyclone attached to your machine, if you're just using this only, you only have this much to catch. And it's a pretty messy process because everything just falls out all over the place. We're going to make sure that we have our cyclone hooked up at all times. You have your second phase, which this is a very fine, almost like an automotive filter. So this is gonna catch your really super fine particles. I like the fact that they have these little tabs on here, you could just grab it. This is the 3rd and final phase. Can you hear that? Carbon filter. This is going to eliminate any odors or anything like that. It's almost like a little honeycomb. I don't know if you can see, you can almost see through it. Each one of these little honeycombs is kind of 3/4 of the way full of carbon. And that's really gonna help any odors that you're not gonna get with an actual shop vac. All right, guys, so with that being said, let's go ahead and I'm gonna get this mounted up on the wall, get this thing hooked up, and test it out for the very first time. Let's do it. All right, guys, now that we got the HFS-800 mounted where I want it, I really like the fact that it's up high and I have enough motion here for the tube to move around without being impeding on anything. It won't get hung up. The only thing I want to do is I think later on I'm going to create a ring that can actually set in, because this kind of just moves around right now and I don't want that to be something where it falls off or gets pulled off. So I'm gonna actually create a little O-ring that's gonna set in, and I think that'll be pretty nice. So what we're gonna do is I got everything hooked up. I got a test piece here and I have a file in easel. Let me turn around the camera and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. So we have here easel lined up and I got an American flag. We're just gonna go ahead and do a test cut. This is actually supposed to take 56 minutes for this. And then when we come back, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and open up the container. We'll take it all apart, see how much goes in there. We'll take those filters out and check out what's inside the filters. So let's go ahead and get this piece cut. And when we come back, we'll see what happens with that and see how awesome it did. All right, let's go ahead and do it. All right, guys, before we go any further, before any comments, before any blows up and has a massive brain aneurysm or anything like that, I just want to say that I did something on purpose. I actually did not put on the dust shoe dust brush on purpose because I wanted to show you the Vortex and what it actually does when it's sucking up with this unit through this. If I had this on there, you can't really see anything, but what this will do as you're pushing and as the machine is going back and forth, it's gonna break up those piles of dust that you can see right here. I haven't touched anything because what we're gonna do is we're gonna suck it up with this unit and go from there. Now, if I did have this on, it would have basically sucked up everything and there wouldn't be any of these little wood chips anywhere on the machine. So before we go any further, just so you know, I did that on purpose. But I will do a video, I think in the very near future, like a really quick side-by-side, maybe a YouTube short or something along that lines where you can see, I'll use this clip and then I'll recreate the same exact file, and we'll do it with this, and we'll do it side by side, and you'll see the difference. So stay tuned so you can see the side by side. All right, guys, so this thing actually has some wood chips at the bottom. I don't know if you could see them right there. There are some wood chips, but before we go any further, let's go ahead and turn on this real quick, and let's go ahead and just suck up all of these little extra wood chips. Let me get out of the light here. You can see there's a whole bunch of these chips. We're gonna suck these up and see what happens, and then we're gonna take out the filters out of the back of the HFS-800 and see what happens. So let's go ahead and turn the dial back on. All right, guys, so now that we got everything sucked up, we got everything nice and clear, let's see how much actually went into the bucket. And I could already see a line right here. If you look right there, there's actually a line inside the bucket. Let's see how it did, and then we're gonna pull out a filter. So let's first check out the bucket. All right. So there is what is inside the bucket. Let's go ahead and remove this. Oh, check it out. Look at this. There is literally nothing, zero in this container in the first filter. Nothing. Absolutely perfect. Oop, there might be a chip right there. I don't think so. This is crazy. Check that out. Not a single piece in this whole thing. All right, so we got that. Here's the secondary filter. Absolutely perfect. And then we already know for a fact that there's not going to be anything in this. Now this is black, but check it out. Nothing. Absolutely perfect. Let's get the camera. All right, let's look inside, and I don't know if you see anything. It's perfectly clean inside. There is no dust whatsoever inside that. So it looks like the dust collector did a 100% perfect job collecting all of the dust with the Vortex and the Cyclone. Let's put this back. So I got this all set up the way I want. I just have my on-off switch right here. I just have it powered all the way up on high at all times. So now all I got to do is just flip my switch, let it go, and then when I'm ready, I can just empty up my bucket, and then I am ready to rock and roll at all times. Pretty awesome. All right, guys, that is it. That is the video. That is the HFS-800 by FoxAlien, the shop vac, and it is pretty awesome. With the HEPA filter, you saw what that does. It did not get a single piece of dust inside of those 3 filters. So technically this is a 4-phase filtration. Cyclone, first filter, second filter, carbon filter. Pretty amazing. If you're interested, I will put a link in the description down below. It is an Amazon affiliate link, so I do get some kickback, and it really helps out the channel. And if you do have any questions or comments, put your thoughts and comments down below. I do reply back to all of my comments. Until that next video, make sure y'all do one thing. Stay awesome. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.